Hello everyone, and we welcome you back to Play, Austin Peay's video game news and discussion show. For the first episode of Season 3, we want to take a look at one of the biggest series in the gaming world, Super Smash Bros., and also track its growth. Get ready to get nerdy, this is Play. Hello and welcome back from a long and grueling winter break to Season 3 of your favorite show at APSU-TV, Play. I am your host, Brandon Crosslin. Alongside me are my awesome co-hosts. We got some new guys here I want to share with you, Kyle Watts, and right here in the center, Zach Pugh. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here, glad to be here.
Yeah.
Well, over the break, I know I spent some time getting some extra hours in some games, and I cannot wait to talk about that later on. But first, how was you guys' winter break?
My winter break was great. I had a chance to play a couple of games that I haven't had a lot of time to play through. A little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, and just a little bit of everything. And of course, some of the games we're talking about today with Smash Brothers, I got a chance to actually play a lot of that. So I'd have to say that it was a pretty good break. You?
I've been staying in my racing simulation side of things. You know,
nice.
sticking with my iRacing subscription, practicing doing that, and. You know, over the winter break, I go home where there's like no internet at all. So I cancel my subscription and just work on other sims to, you know, keep my skills up, you know, because you don't want, it's like playing piano or anything else. You don't want to go too long without hitting your marks at tracks that you remember and stuff. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice, man. You asked us the question, but how?
Been a great break.
It was a good break.
Spent most of my time with Red Dead Redemption 2. Nice. Got the Super Nintendo Classic. Been messing around with that, but other than that, haven't really played much other than that. So, yeah, been a good break.
That's good. I want to say, thanks for the introduction. By the way, I really appreciate that. I want to head over to you for our first game, the first Smash game that we're going to talk about.
Okay, Super Smash Bros. Melee is a game developed by Haleigh Laboratory and produced by Nintendo for the GameCube. Released in Japan on November 21st, 2001, in North America on December 3rd, 2001, and in Europe on May 24th, 2002. Melee introduced all the characters from the original Smash Bros. Game for Nintendo 64, while also featuring some new characters such as Falco, Marth, Dr. Mario, and a personal favorite, the Ice Climbers. Each character featured brings mechanics from their own respective franchises, giving each fighter a unique style of play. It differed from typical fighting games that it utilized a percentage counter that would increase your chance of getting knocked off the stage with every hit you took, compared to the traditional health bar featured in most fighting games. Here's the trailer for Super Smash Bros. Melee. So I would say Melee is my favorite of the three we're talking about today, simply because it's the one I have the most experience with. It introduced the Ice Climbers, which is still my favorite characters in the series so far. Never played the original NES games, but I love them in Smash Bros. What can you really say about Melee? It took everything that was done well in 64 and just upped the ante on everything. More stages, more modes, more characters. and classic stages like Hyrule Castle, and they had the Handmaster at the very end of the, I believe it was the adventure mode at the very end, which is still one of the coolest boss fights I've ever experienced in a game. But tell me what you guys thought about the game.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm going to get this out of the way. To be frank with you guys, I am probably the only one at this table who has never owned a Super Smash Bros. Title. Oh. Yeah, I was a lost child, didn't have it. I only played it with friends, and the only one I played is the one we're going to be talking about next. But I've done my homework, though.
It's not the worst thing. So Melee for me, this is one of the games from my childhood or not really childhood, but from one of the games that I played that I absolutely enjoyed. It's what got me into gaming. It's what got me into really enjoying fighting games, honestly. And with Melee, as you said, the adventure mode, one of the coolest things out of that whole game was the fact that you had this giant hand shooting lasers at you and then coming in at you, trying to knock you off the stage in the final battle round. And that was something that was really cool and really kind of put together for that. My personal favorite character for Melee was Young Link. Really liked how he played. He was kind of a newer character, if I remember correctly, for that series as well.
Yeah, he was new.
And he was just really cool because it was like a different little take to what Link actually was.
Yeah.
That's weird you say that because I saw somebody else say that that was their least favorite character.
Yeah,
from that title, and they liked it much better when they replaced Young Link with Cartoon Link.
Yeah, and they do something similar in one of the other games that we'll talk about later today with the changes to Link. But Young Link for Melee for me was one of my favorites because I was just really good with it. And that and Falco and Fox were just so
that ain't
fun.
Falco. That ain't Falco. That's the only thing I can think of as the meme.
Where
are you at?
The overall thing for this game, though, as you said, more stages, more everything. They really upped the ante for Melee and set a precedent for GameCube games that wasn't set yet. I mean, this is what kind of made the GameCube the system that it was going to be.
A lot of people bought a GameCube just so they could have this title. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of people have bought this because of the title, and so for me, that's just it. I don't know, Ice Climbers and me weren't really friendly for Melee.
Right,
we got friendly for the newest one, but not for Melee. So I'd have to ask you about that one. But.
Well, I think I just love the idea of controlling two characters. If one gets knocked off the stage, you can still control the other one. So it's almost like having double the lives almost.
Yeah.
But it's harder to control. And their stage is really fun too because it's constantly moving up, and you have to stay on top. And if you just happen to chill at the bottom too long, you get knocked, you lose a life. So.
And don't get me wrong, just because I didn't grow up with it doesn't mean I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
As a child, I was just really busy. I was a theater kid,
Yeah, understandable.
But like the way I've seen it is like they took Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat from the 90s. And they added 2 more players, and they made the stage with pits.
Pretty much, it was a drop fall type arena. You had the ability to knock your opponent off, or well, that was pretty much it. You knocked your opponent off the arena as many times. You either had stock mode or you had time mode. Time mode was how many times you knocked someone out of the arena. The person who knocked the most people out won the overall game and won the Melee.
And see, I have played a ton of other Nintendo titles, so I really enjoy the map designs they have for those games.
Yeah.
Like you have iconic Mario Kart, like Luigi's Circuit. That might be on the Wii one, but
I think that is on the Wii one.
Yeah, because that was a Wii exclusive track, I think. But anyway.
Well, tell me about Brawl, Brandon.
Yeah, that leads us to the next one. I suppose that was the best transition I could have made. Our next Super Smash Bros. Title up for discussion is the only one that I've ever really had any experience with, as I never personally owned a Super Smash Bros. Title, as we mentioned. I have had a couple of times playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl at friends' houses. Now, Super Smash Bros. Brawl released in Japan on January 31st of 2008 on the Nintendo Wii, but didn't arrive to the States until March 9th of the same year. It was developed by Game Arts and Sora Limited and published, of course, by Nintendo. Here's the trailer from nearly a decade ago. Take a look.
スネーク、忙しいところすまないが、ビッグニュースだ。
なんだ、また無茶を言うんじゃないだろうな。
君は大乱とスマッシュブラザーズを知っているかね？
ああ、任天堂の。
実は君に出場の招待状が届いているのだ。
お、
スネーク、参加してみる気はないか？ところで君は今どこにいるんだね？
偵察に夢中だ。
偵察？
うん。
一体何を？
敵を知ることこそ勝利への近道だからな。ショータイムだ。
So there was a trailer for Brawl way back in 2008, made Zach feel old here. But really the only thing I remember about this title, guys, was sophomore year I went over to a friend's house and there was a bunch of other people there as well. And we got every controller we could think of and just shoved it in there and just we all played for hours. And that was my first real experience with a Brawl game because like I've heard about it for years but never actually get to play it myself. I suck at Brawl games. Like it's all I see is on the screen. I guess that's why I never really got into it because it's such a mess. And like, well, I'm not done.
Yeah,
like,
you're good.
It's such a mess. But like, well, one of the notable characters from Brawl that really stuck out to me is like they got the Mii character as one of the fighters.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
And I always chose it because I was like, oh, that's nifty. Because in Mario Kart Wii, I always use my Mii sometimes when I was online. Rest in peace, Nintendo WFC that shut down in 2014. But anyway, yeah, I was an avid Mario Kart player back in the online time.
All right.
But anyway, that's my shtick about it.
Would you like to talk about Brawl, or do you want me to take this one?
Well, one of the things you brought up a little bit was with the Wii version of the game, you could put in GameCube controllers.
Yeah.
Oh, you could use the Wiimote, just turn it sideways. You could use the nunchuck and the Wii remote, and they had the little dog bone type controller for the Wii as well. And just a whole slew of ways to play. And this is actually, I played Brawl kind of like towards. It was early on, but it was so long ago that I don't have as much. Like I often blend Melee and Brawl together because I was so young. You know, I didn't recognize a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand this game to be considered the worst of the three we're talking about today, and I don't really understand why. I don't understand the nuance as much.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You got it.
The reason. If you wanted to chime in, you can. I know the reason that they consider it to be one of the worst out of the three that we're talking about is because of the introduction to the smash ball, the ultimate move that you could to get your ultimate final move. Yeah, and it's in the newest one too, and they definitely step up a lot better in the newer one.
That's where they beta tested it.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's what originally starts creating this rift of the difference between the games. I remember this is 2008, right? Mm. So I was, well, I'm not going to say how old I was, but
I was 10. I'll beat you there.
I was 8 years old.
It was 10 years ago, so 15. So yeah.
I was 10.
I remember when the game came out. It was one of the first few games to actually launch that I distinctly was like very happy to get on Wii. And as you said, there was multiple controllers you could play on and all this stuff. And they integrated a lot of what Melee had into the game. The best thing that ever came out of this game was Meta Knight. Meta Knight was the best thing that ever come out of this game.
Yes.
The worst thing to come out of this game was, as you said, that it was kind of clunky. They had a lot of stuff together, and I think this is when they implemented story mode, if I remember correctly. Story mode first started in this one.
Yeah,
and
what I've seen, a lot of competitive Smash Brothers players see this one as like the weeb one, like the weenie one, the one nobody really wants to play if you're serious about it.
Yeah.
And also using the Wii controller is also a weenie thing to do. You want to get you want to tack on the GameCube controller. You want to get the Wii gamepad. You know, I don't know what else there is out there. You know, third-party peripherals.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of third parties, and I agree with you. When it came to tournaments and stuff, because I did a couple of tournaments as a player trying to kind of get on that scene and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Melee came out, I did a couple in locally, and then when Brawl hit, I tried to do that.
Were there cash prizes involved?
Yes, there were cash prizes involved. It was pretty, it was pretty great.
Like
and bragging rights, too.
The same places they do Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Kind of, yeah. It was similar places.
Yeah.
You know, we may have done those too.
Like
at
the
times.
back of a Hastings.
Yeah,
Remember those days?
Yeah. I remember those
I
days.
miss Hastings.
Oh, Hastings.
Yeah.
But the thing with this game is that anytime that it was time to play for the tournament, it was, let's do Melee. Let's not do Brawl. Well, why not Brawl? Well, because of all the new mechanics that were in Brawl made the game less enjoyable. But then as people got used to the idea of what Brawl was, and they made the DS version of it, I think, and then they did the Wii U version and all that. As they implemented all of that, people started to kind of accept, okay, well, this is how Smash Brothers is going to be. And so the players had to adapt instead of the game adapting to the players, which was pretty interesting.
One of the major things that, speaking of third parties, was this was the first game, I believe, that introduced third-party characters. You had Snake. Snake was in this one.
Sonic, I think, was in this one.
Sonic was in this one.
Yeah.
Mario's ultimate rival. How could you have a video game all-star fight if you don't have
Mario's
Sonic and
ultimate
Mario
Exactly.
going at it?
Yeah. It is quite dramatic.
Oh, gosh. Solid Snake with the box just walking
Who could
around.
forget Mario and Sonic Olympic games?
Oh, gosh.
Man.
Nintendo,
never
bring
played that
back the
either.
Olympic Games. That's what we're hoping for. Bring back the Olympic Games. So, I think we're going on to the next one.
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah.
And last but definitely not least, Zach Pew is going to take us into the latest Smash entry, Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Well, Smash Bros. Ultimate is a 2018 crossover fighting game developed by Bandai Namco Studios and Sora Ltd. And published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch. It's the 5th installment in the Super Smash Bros. Series, succeeding Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, released December 7th of 2018. The game follows the series' traditional style of gameplay, controlling one of the various characters. Players must use differing attacks to weaken their opponents and knock them out of an arena. It features a wide variety of game modes, including a campaign for a single player and a multiplayer versus mode. Ultimate includes every playable character from previous Super Smash Bros. Games, ranging from Nintendo's mascots to characters from third-party franchises, and several newcomers. Check out the trailer now.
On that day, when the sky fell away, our world came to an end. In our eyes, did a fading sunrise in the dark, glimmering shadows. Silence grows in the spaces between, stretching out beyond time. Rising up as a chorus of souls finds a voice, flickering through the void. These little sparks cling on to life. Everyone caught in this struggle, and then the storms of change they fan the flames, scattering ashes to the wind. Every soul contains a whisper of light, gleaming faintly as it dwindles from sight. No escape, no greater fate to be made. In the end, the chains of time will not break. Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks fall to a path still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light.
So that was the trailer for Ultimate. Guys, I gotta tell you, I've enjoyed this game a lot. I own a Switch personally. One of the reasons I bought a Switch was for this game. If you can't tell, I'm a Nintendo fan. And I mean, every 10 minutes you can unlock a character. I mean, it's insanity for me. And they have this unlimited amount of roster for here. They're constantly adding characters on there. There is a I think Piranha Plant just got added, which is the
Right.
little Piranha Plant from Mario games.
Yeah.
That is a playable character for the
Does
game.
it like hop around in
Yeah,
a little
little-
flower pot?
I haven't had a chance to really delve into it as much, but
Maybe
I
like the
believe so.
green pipe?
He's got feet. He's got feet. So it is a little
It's like
different.
vine feet.
Yeah, probably vine feet, kind of more like a Rocky Horror Picture Show maybe
Yeah,
type thing, or
yeah.
like the plant type thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but for me personally, I love this game. The way they've done everything to it, you have all these types of different ways to customize for matches, for stock matches. Every 10 minutes you can unlock a character. The roster is massive. The arena list is massive. There are so many different things that you can do for this.
Is it like Mario Kart? Do they keep all the classic
Oh
maps?
my gosh, yeah, they kept all the classic maps. There was a Pokemon Coliseum, the Pokemon one that was in Melee that's like super popular. It's in that. It's my favorite, all-time favorite Super Smash Brothers arena is that
Like
one.
a circular arena? Well, it can't be circular.
You
it's
remember
2D.
it was back in the early Pokemon shows where they kind of had the battle and there was all this air between them and it was just this giant Coliseum and the whole stadium lifted up and changed different form. Okay, yeah.
I know the stage you're talking about. Yeah. It's
I'm a nerd. Can you believe it?
I'm a nerd in different ways. There's just a lot of nerd things I don't know.
But obviously I have the most admiration for this game because of what it's done and how it's fixed some of the issues that Brawl had. My question is, what do you guys think about the game?
I haven't played it.
I'd love to try it out.
I haven't. We'll have to do it after the show.
Doing
we'll
all
have
this
to try out.
discussion has definitely made me want to like. I have the original Wii that can play GameCube stuff. I want to go pick up Melee somewhere and try it out. Get an actual GameCube controller and try it out.
Dude, it's
and
great. It'll change your life.
Fix my childhood for a little bit.
It'll change your life. It'll change your life. The biggest thing that I would say in this, and this introduced a character. Wolf is introduced, if I remember correctly. I don't think he's in Brawl, if I'm remembering correctly. Little Mac that came in the Wii U version is more of a predominant person in this game. There's a lot of people that love him. King Rule from the Donkey Kong series is in this. King Dedede, who's one of my other personal favorites for this one. King Dedede was introduced in Brawl, but I didn't like him in Brawl. I really like him in this one. He's got a really great ultimate. He's got the ability to be able to kind of joke around and all that. So I think personally that this game, out of all three, is my personal favorite. It's taken my childhood away and added the adult sentiment that I need.
It's so recent, though. I mean, it has to have so many classic elements to keep that.
It does.
Specialness to you.
Just the fact that it brings in all the other characters and all the other arenas. It eclipses those other games.
Like you don't have to go to the other ones because they're all.
Yeah, exactly. They're all right here.
It's kind of HD-ified. It's.
And they're implementing characters like every other month. They're trying to introduce a new character. They're announcing. I think Dragon Quest is supposedly a teaser for the next. Character coming in, from what they're saying, after the Piranha Plant came in.
I suppose with the Switch console, it's you're able to take this out.
Oh yeah.
Without,
Oh yeah, you can take travel. If you've seen the commercials for the Switch, you
they
can set it up as a little
get
TV.
together,
You can. There's all these types of things you can do. Just the Joy-Cons in general, you can set them in a controller. You can set these controllers over sideways and actually play using the tops and stuff. And so it's almost as awkward as the Wii U remotes were. How the Wii U remotes were just like, but they didn't have any buttons. So they took those and they said, okay, let's put buttons on it now.
There you go.
And now it's like GameCube and Wii, the Wii controllers were like, hey, let's have a controller together. Right? So, but that's, for me, that's everything that I have for this game. I have so much love and admiration for it that it's insanity. I believe that you have some stuff that you were wanting to talk about.
Yes, I do. I am going to introduce a new segment for you guys. In the world of gaming, Twitch is a live broadcasting service that allows people to stream various applications and games. Each episode, we're going to feature a streamer that you can nominate yourself. The streamer will tie into the episode's theme, of course.
Up first is Avon Dever, a 26-year-old streamer living in California. He recently attended Genesis 6, a gaming convention / competition located in Oakland, California. We're going to take a look at some of his highlights of Super Smash Bros. And find out just who he is.
We have ourselves, it is actually the same matchup I got the chance to see Enki play yesterday. Going to be up against, this time though, Neon Lights Wolf. We'll see how Neon Lights is able to handle it a little bit better right now. Playing very aggressively, trying to overwhelm Enki with some aggression, especially with these forward tilts.
That's nice. I'm really glad that we were able to highlight Twitch streamers on this show now. I think this is something that we should have started doing in the beginning because, I mean, Twitch and YouTube gaming, I guess that's what they want to do now. But, you know, both of these platforms have changed the way people interact with video game and video game culture. And by like, if you've never played a game before, you never bought it before, you can watch it for a while. Watch somebody, you know, without spoilers, you know, if it's in a story mode or something, but you can watch them for a while and see everything, see what it's all about.
I think that the idea of us of adding this segment is great. I agree with you, and I think we were talking a little bit as well about this. Streamers in general have made the gaming world so known and popular now that it's not a bad thing to be a gamer, you know what I mean, or to be a fan of video games.
Speaking of which, I will be in a race tonight in my league, in a league I'm a part of, Salt Flat Racing IROC League. If you're into racing, well, I'm just throwing this in there, all right?
I like this.
Okay, but
you might be the person to nominate now for the next streamer now.
I'm not a streamer. It's streamed by a broadcasting channel on YouTube, MaxSpeed-TV.
MaxSpeed-TV.
And
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's on tonight.
Cool.
They do stuff.
What
all
time
week
tonight?
long.
What time does it start?
It's like 7 something.
7 something?
You know,
I think I should be free for that. I
ballpark
might be
around
able to.
there.
I might be able to check that
But anyway,
I'll be
that's
there at
on
7
topic
something.
of streamers. I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, you know,
definitely.
streamers make this is making our world go round nowadays. It's
Yeah.
helping us be able to delve into what we need in games. It's actually really we're showcasing game testers at this point, which is
Yeah.
a good thing. I
love it.
So I will agree with that. So.
I mean, it's the trend the gaming industry is going. I mean, there's no excuse not to be informed about games anymore. We're more informed than ever about what we're buying before we buy it. There's hardly any risk at all in buying something because you can look up a review, you can look up gameplay, you can watch somebody play it live.
It's great because it makes game developers so much more accountable for their actions.
Right?
Because we're going to be right on them, AKA Battlefront 2.
Exactly.
KAEA Sports.
Well, I'm excited to get this new segment started as much as the rest, and I think it is cool to show some recognition for these people who do all this online streaming. If you want to nominate anyone you know, leave a comment on our YouTube channel on at APSU-TV, and you know we'll look into them and see if we can get them on the show.
You know, thanks again to our awesome crew of students working behind the scenes to keep the show running, as well as the co-producers Haleigh Smith and Dr. Rob Barrett. So, we'll see you next time for Peay, and as always,
Let's go Peay!